Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Freeback Friday afternoon edition of The Rundown. I am your host, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the left coast behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, I assist you in the daily operations of the Rundown. It's great to be here with you and Viewerland, folks. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast on Freeback Friday.
Any special plans for this weekend, sir?
Yes, it's air show weekend. I'm going to go geek out at the air show.
Oh, that's right. That's you're one of those people who like to fly airplanes and stuff like that. So
I'm gonna go fly some airplanes. I'm gonna go maybe fly some helicopters and then sit at the air show and watch other people do it.
Very nice, very nice. I am very, 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 very happy for you, sir.
Why, thank you. How about you, sir? Anything planned for this weekend?
You know what? I've had so many weekends where I've had so much stuff planned. I'm actually just planning on mowing the lawn and relaxing this weekend.
Aw, how nice. That sounds very domestic. So
very, very domesticated. I will be very domesticated this weekend.
I'll let you enjoy. Let me ask you this, though, Craig, before we move on. If you could just adjust my settings just a hair, because all I'm staring at is your big mug here.
Oh, that's right. See, folks, what happens is I have the ability to decide what Mike gets to see. And needless to say, Mr. Mikey, sometimes I'm like, nope, you just get to look at me. That's it. But there you go. I will let you see what the world gets to see. See, now he is as special as the rest of you and gets to see.
See, now I know when it's my turn to talk. This is the cue for you're up next, brah.
I know.
As opposed to if I'm just staring at you, I'm going to let you talk the whole time.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got some of the behind the scenes stuff out there for the folks in Viewerland. I hope y'all are taking notes. If y'all decide to do your own live stream one day, you will know that, it takes a little bit of work.
It does. And remember, don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams. That is a very, very bad thing to do.
Don't do that. It's the end of civilization as we know it. Don't cross the streams.
Excellent. So why don't we go ahead and let's go ahead and kick it into today's stories, shall we?
Kick it.
Kick it. All right. So story numero uno. Now, if you guys watch Fox News, you've probably seen this. But this is a story about out of Loudoun County, Virginia, and we all know that Virginia has pretty much gone bonzo over the last since the election, since they elected and turned blue. But in Loudoun County, Virginia, they're basically the schools. There was a father, and you've seen, by the way, if you've watched any news channel and you've seen anything where they're talking about sending the FBI or Homeland Security in to investigate parents who go to school board meetings and get out of hand, there's a guy out of Loudoun County who's kind of like the poster child for it. But if you understand the story behind why he's angry, it actually turns out that he was angry at the school board because his daughter, who was a ninth grader, had been sexually assaulted by an individual, a man or a male, who was wearing a skirt. Clearly, this individual said that he identified as a female, and that allowed him to go into the women's or the girls' bathroom. And he wound up sexually assaulting this guy's daughter, and the school board was actually trying to cover it up, Mike. They were trying to cover it up.
Well, sorry, we just had a little flash going on here. Listen, yeah. I mean, school board covering this up. That just, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm all for this guy. Whatever repercussions it is, I hope that at the end of this ordeal, they rename the school district after this guy. He should own them after this. Craig, I can't help but think that all of this dude in a skirt, however he got in there, I think maybe all that could have been solved if, I don't know, in Virginia they had the proper number of school resource officers. We know that this has gone on in multiple jurisdictions since the first of the year. They have been defunding the SROs. We just saw it right up the road in Alexandria happen this same week as well, reinstating SROs because it's just madness going on in the schools with crimes and fighting. This is probably the same type of thing that's gone on there. Your school board, and not your school boards. Let's be clear on that. This has been the cities and the counties taking the monies from the school boards because they control the monies for the schools in Virginia. So whereas they're doing the whole defund the police thing, they didn't take the police out of their own neighborhoods, did they? They took them out of the schools where your kids are.
No, they most definitely did not take the money out of their own neighborhoods. Well, their own kids' schools, because their kids are probably in private school by what we generally know about these folks. But what was interesting is that this now instead of them calling the police, instead of him being disciplined, he was simply sent to another school where it has been said that he did the same exact thing to another girl. And that's why parents were so angry and were so upset. That was one of the reasons why parents were actually called on to be there. And so naturally, this guy wants justice for his daughter. And, the school board is having none of it. He wanted answers. They weren't going to give them to him. So they attempted to have him escorted out, and he wasn't going. But just so you folks know, it's not like parents are just showing up at these school board meetings acting wild and crazy. Not to say that there aren't. But in many cases, these are individuals who have a reason to be angry and upset.
I mean, who is this guy? This is a dude in a skirt. This is not the Highlander walking around in Virginia. Who is this guy, Craig? And how does he get to walk from school to school, from district to district, without? Listen, if the parents of these children had known what he was doing, I don't think it would have been a problem. But how is he able to get on? How were these districts not able to protect? Well, I take that back. I know how the districts are not able to protect because they've been defunded with their law enforcement monies.
Well, but in some cases, they're trying to protect the rights of quote unquote transgendered students. And here's the problem is in some cases like this, you pass rules like the ones that they passed. What you wind up with is some people who are going to take advantage of that. And that's exactly what you had here. In this case, you had an individual who decided he was going to take advantage. He was going to take advantage of the situation. This person has actually now been charged. He's been charged with 2 counts of sodomy and 1 count of anal sodomy. So once again, we know that at least somebody now believes that he had committed a crime. If the school district had actually reached out and done what they were supposed to do in the very beginning, and I think part of the reason they're trying to cover this up is because they realized they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They're mandated reporters. The school is they're required by law to report stuff like this, and they didn't. And that's why I think we know why the parent is upset and horrified. But I think I agree with these parents. I think the superintendent needs to resign over how this thing was handled.
Yeah, 100%. Well, again, superintendent or the city council or the mayor. If the school board's the one, like you say, and the school board was concealing it and hiding it, then 100%, not only should they resign, but they should be prosecuted as well for child endangerment because they let this person go from one location to another. Right. So that should occur there as well. In the meantime, Craig, I'm doing a pool right now. How long you think before this guy gets suicided in prison?
I don't know. I mean, he's a minor, so he's probably going to wind up in kiddie jail. Even though it's maybe a week. I don't know much about Virginia jails. That's the other thing. I don't know how hardcore they are.
Potpourri's okay, but I would the hot towel service is horrible.
Speaking of hot towels, okay, that's the best transition I got. All right. Katie Couric,
towel on a fire. That's what she is,
Hey, how many fans out there do we have of Katie Couric? I'm seeing no hands. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing one. All right. So Mikey does here. We'll show Mikey. Oh, see now he doesn't want the evidence. Okay. So he likes Katie Couric. Now, remember, Katie Couric has been known a couple of times for actually doing interviews and then editing the interview in order to make it sound like the response that she wants. Well, there's another instance in where she, in fact, did that, and it had to do with none other than Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg was asked about how she felt about the kneeling protest in the NFL. Let's just put it this way: she didn't give the response that that Katie Couric thought she should give, and so she wanted to, in her words, she wanted to protect Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, once again, she was asked about the protests, and specifically what Ruth Bader Ginsburg said. Hold on, I had it right here. She basically said they were showing contempt for a government that has made it possible for their parents and grandparents to live a decent life, which they probably could not have lived in places they came from. So now,
she said it was disrespectful. She said it was disrespectful. Is what she said. She goes, she would not tolerate it, and it is disrespectful.
Right. So the interesting thing is, in other words, and it was funny because when I read it the second time, I was like, oh, okay, now I see what the disrespect for. I was like, where they came from? Who is she talking to? We're talking about NFL players in a country where they came from. Mostly black league. 78% of the NFL is black, and she's talking about they probably wouldn't be able to live a decent life in the country where they quote unquote came from.
Well, I think she would, she would be implying that it was back, a couple of generations ago when they got some free room and board on a boat to come over to the United States. Let's be clear though, when Darth Vader Ginsburg was interviewed by Katie Couric, I think she was 110. All right. So the sentiment that I get from this story was that it was disrespectful. And I clearly think she was trying to say that, although the slavery did occur, we understand that occurred, anywhere from 200 to 500 years ago, it's not the image you want to be portraying of somebody that's glad to have freedom.
So do you think it was that, or you didn't think it was more she was covering up because she didn't want to make it sound like Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't agree with their kneeling?
Oh, listen, no. 100% Katie Couric got rid of her statements because it did not agree with Katie Couric's or the network's vision of what they wanted to say. That's why it wasn't there. And the liberal bastion of hope that she was for the left, they could never have her say, fronting that it's disrespectful to be kneeling down. They could never allow that. So that's why Katie Couric just got rid of the statement. It never made it to airtime.
Nope. And dude, I'm just telling you, that is hilarious to me because once again, this is not the first time she's edited stuff in order to remove statements that she didn't want out there. I'm sorry, but this is another example of the mainstream media should be embarrassed because once again, you say that you're about reporting objective news, but we know the difference. We know you're not because we know you edit stuff and you change stuff in order to push the position and the opinion that you want.
It's the pretty white girl theory, right? Isn't that it? She's the pretty white girl, so she gets to say what she wants, and they can't hold it against her. And then when they found her wrong for lying the first time, what'd they do? They gave her husband cancer, so they got her some sympathy and they let her back in, and she was able to say what else she wanted. So it's the pretty white girl. She can do what she wants. It's okay. She's America's sweetheart. She's Katie Couric. We don't care.
There you go. Right. That's why you like her. Pretty white girl.
Oh, I don't like her. She had her
You
husband.
just raised your hand. You said you like Katie Couric. I have evidence.
Oh, I don't like her reporting.
Okay. I will let you slide on that one.
I don't like her politics. I mean, come
on. All right, we'll let you slide on that. We'll let you slide on that one. Well, someone who's not getting the opportunity to slide is a student who goes to Yale Law. Now, this is an individual. He decided that he was going to throw a party, and so he put out an email and he said, hey, come to our trap house. We're going to have a party and we're going to have It's going to be we're going to have apple pie and Popeye's chicken, right? He said this. Now this is a kid guy who is a member of the Federalist Society, which is a group of basically conservatives, but he's also Native American, so he's a member of a Native American law organization. Well, he sent the email out, and someone responded to the email, basically accused him of basically supporting blackface or whiteface, or no, blackface, and accusing black people of smoking crack because of his flyer. Now, turns out, unbeknownst to me, I did not know this. So a trap house is a term or a terminology used in multiple different ways. It historically has been used to define a crack house. But more recently, especially on college campuses, it's basically a place where young people who are probably not old enough to drink, where young people can go and get, free beer. But they naturally assumed that it was because of, he's a conservative, so therefore he must be racist, that he was talking about crack. And when he included Popeye's chicken, which I didn't know that liking Popeye's chicken made you racist, I'm damn racist, evidently.
I told you that the Lord's chicken, Chick-fil-A will save your soul, and Hood Chicken Popeyes is going to get nasty, stupid stuff like this to happen. All right,
gangsta. I just made the connection. So wait a minute. So you got Hood, you got Hood sinful chicken with the trap house, with the crack house, the rock house. Now I'm seeing the connection, except unless you're saying that, black people and crack are synonymous, I'm still not getting the racist undertones.
No, not at all. I don't see how. I'm curious how. And this article cites since 2016, Trap House has been the name for it. I'm like, well, when did that happen? Was there memos that went out about that? Listen, as far as I know, the Trap House in law enforcement, you know what the Trap House is? That's where we do the deals in front of, and then we pop out and grab you. Okay,
right.
It's the Trap House because we trapped you. That's the Trap House.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, the Trap House, according to some rap artist, and an artist is a stretch, by the way, from 2016, means white people wearing blackface, drinking beer. What? Where did that come from? Who's making these definitions up now? I believe Katie Couric more than I believe that rap artist.
If you go to the website where the story is, it's the Washington Free Beacon. If you go there, they actually have an audio where you can listen to, because the guy recorded this meeting he had with I think it was like the dean and the administrator, where they basically told him, look, you need to apologize, or you may get kicked out of school, and even if you're not kicked out of school, you'll never get a job at any law firm. Kind of like, one of those we'll make sure of it type deals.
Right.
But I'm like this. So he went on and explained for about 15 minutes about why what the dude said was racist. Now, let's just be honest. If it takes you 15 minutes to explain anything, then it is not common knowledge. I don't care what it is.
This guy went to school with the Wildcats there with Will Ferrell on Old School. I mean, this is what this sounds like. The dean trying to blackmail for something that didn't occur and gone on. This is crazy. This student, I'm hoping that the conversation inside the dean's office ended with, therefore, Dean, I wish you to consume a satchel of Richards, because I'm not doing it.
That's exactly where it needed to go. But once again, this is Yale Law, considered the top law school in the country. So they were very careful to make sure that they didn't say anything illegal. But the implications of what they were saying were really obvious.
Right.
And I've just, Mike, there used to be a time when you looked at people with degrees from some of these Ivy League universities, and I was impressed. Yale, Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, you name it. Now, I just consider them educated into imbecility. They are so woke that they're a joke, and you literally, that is how dumb they are. They have subjected themselves. They think they've been listening to the greatest and the best minds in the world, and what they've been doing is that they've been fed a bunch of BS, and they think they know it all. But most liberalism, I've just come to realize, if you have to jump through as many intellectual hoops to make liberalism make sense, it's not that smart.
No, absolutely not. I concur with you 100%.
Exactly, exactly. I just realized we have not been paying much attention to the comment line. Let's see if we have anyone who has been saying anything. Nothing there and nothing there.
I've been watching the Facebook one, but I'm also at 1 or 2%. So I see we got people watching. Hello to everybody that we're watching and everybody that's watching us and they're with us.
Excellent. Well, those of you who are watching, if you are not watching on the rundown, then well, we can't see your comments. So please do us a favor. Go ahead and switch on over to the rundown. If you want to comment, we'll see your comments. Otherwise, we'll respond to your comments later on one of our other channels.
There you go.
Just that having been said,
did I
say stead or did I say said?
No, you said it. You said it right. It was good.
Good.
I'm just repeating what you said.
Yes.
Trying to seem supportive,
I appreciate that. I appreciate your support, my brother.
It's what I do.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's what I do. I'm an athletic supporter.
Okay, now speaking of racist things, and this actually probably does still classify as racist. Not like races within the human race, but extraterrestrial racist. An actress. You know what, Mike? I'm going to let you. This is your story. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one.
So I'm standing in the bank yesterday, right? And my bank has these monitors on the wall behind the tellers, and it runs like these 30-second news clips. There's no audio. It's just quick snapshots with a 2-sentence story, and that's it. And listen, and just so you know, folks, those monitors are back there to make you look at them so the cameras can look at your face while you're in the bank. Well, and I'm standing there and they're depositing a couple of checks, and the young lady tells me, oh, okay, well, this much will be available today, and the rest will be available on 2 business days. And I see this story pop up with Demi Lovato, and I read it, and I said, that's not right. And she said, no, it's right. The checks will deposit today. And I was like, no. Did you see the Demi Lovato story? Well, she's not allowed to turn around because she can't turn her back on the on the teller position there. And I said, hold on, I'll read it to you. It says, Demi Lovato says the term aliens is derogatory to extraterrestrials. And I said that to her, and she said, well, that can't be right. And I said, I know. I know, right? I mean, and so the two of us sat there theorizing. We're like, well, maybe she meant it's derogatory to the illegal aliens, if you call them alien rather than call them illegal immigrants. And I go, yeah, but the word extraterrestrial is in quotes here. At some point, it had to have been used. And this is basically what I did with my day yesterday. I found out who Demi Lovato was. Because prior to that, I did not know.
This level of idiocy. See, folks, this is what happens when you allow when we allowed wokeness to get out of the academia. When being woke was just a theory that was discussed, critical race theory, social justice theory, all that stuff. When that's all it was a bunch of high college professors thinking and talking about stuff. It didn't really do a lot of damage. But eventually it escaped into mainstream society, and now this is what we have to deal with. The fact that we have now musical artists who are basically talking about how we ought to not be, how we need to be sensitive to the feelings of extraterrestrials and not use derogatory terms like alien.
I saw this pop up, and Craig, I immediately know, and I'd bet Katie Couric's integrity on this, that Demi Lovato is in California. She must be one of yours. She must be.
You know what?
Some California nonsense.
That is some California nonsense. Okay. I can't even. Maybe Oregon or Washington, but chances are
only if
if it's Oregon or Washington, it originated in California.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, so it's I just thought, well, maybe It's has something to do with immigrants. It's maybe she might just say extraterrestrials is the part that's derogatory. And no, we sat there and looked over a couple of times. We're like, well, California, that's stand out in the heat too long. The sun
Sunshine.
stand out in the heat too long. The sun will dry up your brain juices. That's what
That
happens.
is definitely what is going on here. Well, Mikey, we're on to our parting shot, sir.
The parting shot.
We're on to the parting shot. You guys remember we've been talking a lot about. We talked a little bit about what went on in with Southwest Airlines with the fact that they had a sick out.
Well, it's the weather, Craig. It's
they said it was the weather.
It's weather related, and we actually have a picture of one of the aircraft in the middle of the storm.
It was in the middle of the storm. Now, Mike, I just need to ask you this question: do storms and does weather only impact one airline at a time?
Oh, it you know what? It's actually started to spread to one or two other airlines in solidarity with Southwest.
There you go. There you go. So there it is in the middle of the storm. Oh, wait, hold on. What's that? Is that a cloud? Is that a yellow Gadsden cloud? Is that what that is?
Yellow Gadsden cloud right there in the stormy skies of Texas.
Oh Lord, folks, this whole COVID thing has just gotten. I will tell you, by the way, if you have not listened to it, and I don't care if you listen to anything that Joe Rogan has ever done, you've got to listen to the interview that he did with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Sanjay Gupta.
So Sanjay Gupta is he's like a lead medical correspondent or for CNN. And Joe Rogan just so masterfully leads him down this path of going against 90% of the stuff that you hear on ESPN and on CNN and the mainstream media and all of these folks. It was a masterful interview, and I think his whole purpose because the dude wanted to come on, but I think the whole reason he had him on was because he wanted to get him for the folks over at CNN accusing him of taking horse dewormers.
Yes. Yeah, it was a little turnabout's fair play. That's exactly right.
But it was masterful.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, folks, you will have a whole new respect. To me, I still say he's the best interviewer in the business. Number one, because he doesn't get caught up in these little 5-minute interviews. He does like hour and a half long. This one he does is 3 hours, and it's entertaining from beginning to end. But he goes through these long interviews. He doesn't accept BS. He doesn't accept BS answers. He's very well read on whatever he's interviewing somebody on. And like I said, because he's a comedian, he's also very entertaining. But yeah, the mainstream media is so full of BS on so many things. When it comes on many things, but especially when it comes to COVID.
Yeah, he's good. And again, like I said, it's gonna come down to comedians. I think that break us out of the woke culture.
Yep. Most definitely, because they realize
one of the hardcore.
Without a First Amendment, they have no job. I mean, literally, they have no career. They do not have to. If they have to be censored as to what they can joke about, there's no such thing as being a comedian in a totalitarian fascist state, and that's what we're headed towards. Those of you who on the left who don't realize this, but most fascist states have been left-wing totalitarian states. So yeah, maybe you want to rethink that. All right, Mikey, how about a shout out to our sponsors?
Hey, what's going on? Grid Defense and Gorilla Machining. Grid Defense, Gorilla Machining. Talked to both of them today. Everything's going great. Please check out their gear. Go over to Grid Defense, Gorilla Machining. Get everything you want. They deliver it straight to the house. You get these parts up in your hizzy because they don't do serial numbers. They do 80%ers, and everything else is a component and a part, so you can do your own build at your house.
Folks, it's real simple. Check them out and make sure you let them know the folks at the Rundown sent you. Also want to remind you, California Republican Assembly, the conscience of the Republican Party. We are working to elect like-minded conservatives here in the state of California. Remember, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Don't be a part of the problem. Join the organization that is the Republican wing of the Republican Party in California. With that, folks, that's going to be the end of our show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and encouraging your friends to do the same.
Yep. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, and my sympathies go out to my Giants fans, my friends.
Oh yeah, poor Giant fans.
Yeah.
You got robbed. It's okay. You're in San Francisco. You're used to getting robbed.
Yeah. True. And poop on your shoes.